Hello guys, so next video here we're going to go through the save and close dialog box and some things we just need to verify: the file path, more options, status, and route to. Right, so there are a couple of ways to get to the save and close dialog box. So let's say we wanted to, so I'm logged in as the ADM, and again, so if you were a state user we would just be doing this at the state level, or if you're an NDL you would do it in your discipline. So I'm just going to grab a collection here. Now, one of the benefits of choosing the collection first is whenever you do a new and then you select something from the drop down menu, it's going to default it to saving it at that collection. So if I go and try and make, so I've selected my year revision folder for 374. I go to my new drop down menu and I want to make a long summary. So I select long summary and the Quark Web Author screen loads. And again, we would make our changes here and we would add content to the summary. Okay. Now, when I go to save and close, by default, it's already at CDAE 374 Farmstead Energy Improvement 2017. So that part's already done by default because I went ahead and did the work of selecting the collection before starting the document. So really I can just go ahead and minimize this collection window. Now I could switch collections and save it to the 2020 folder. I can change where I want it to be saved. So I can go ahead and hide it. That way it cuts down my information here. So I can add the file name to be correct. The content type, you really probably will never have to really use that. So by default, this one's a long summary, and I don't actually have any other options to change it. Workflow. Workflow is going to come in play. Really, there should only be one workflow option. It really does come in play, like let's say a network effects diagram. That one could be different workflows, but a lot of these are just going to be one workflow. Then the status, so you can either choose whatever status you want to check the document in as, and then who to route it to. So remember again, the routing to is going to generate an email to whoever you check it in, to whoever you send it to, and no one generates no email. This will also appear in their assignments query. Then next we have metadata and checklists. So in here, I picked a poor document. This one doesn't have any metadata fields really. So let's make another one with some more metadata fields. So I can just choose save and it'll save it back into the system. So let's say I didn't have, let's say I just had like this AE folder selected, but I'm trying to still make a new document for 374. So instead of choosing my year folder, all I did was choose the discipline. So now when I go to, let's create a statement of work. So I want to make a 374, and then I'm just going to put farm because I don't want to type the whole word. We'll do farmstead. Okay, so I would author make my statement of work and then go to save and close. Now when this comes up, it's going to default to where I have it selected. So it's at the CDAE folder, and you'll notice I can't actually save the document here because I don't have the correct permissions to save a document to the CDAE folder. So then at that point, so I'm going to double check this. This is incorrect. So then I will then navigate to the folder I want to save it to. Then you can tell after hitting that, then now I can see a status. Now I have a workflow, and now I have options to route the document to. Now I can hide the browser window because I don't need that anymore, and I can open up metadata and checklist. And then here now we actually have metadata to add in. So if you want a quick way to get the standard name, I can just copy it from here. I can do Control C and then Control V. That way I don't have to retype it in every time. And then I can add in some keywords, and then English is at the bottom. So every document has different metadata, so you'll have to, I'm not going to go through every single different document or different attribute types, but you need to fill in those specific attributes or metadata per document, and I'll hit save. Okay, so now that was creating, so that we selected the collection we wanted to save it to, and then the second way we did was when we didn't have the correct folder selected and we had to navigate to it. Now let's say we are creating a document from an existing document. So let's say my document is in, I want to make this 2017 statement of work into 2020. What I'll do for that is I'll go into this new drop down menu here. Now I'm going to do create revision of existing document, and I'm going to choose statement of work. Now first is going to come up with your assignments by default, and notice it didn't take me to where I wanted to be in this collections window. So you have a few options here. You can search for 374, and then it'll come up with any 374s in the system. So then you could find the statement of work in 2017, but then you can also navigate directly to it. So unfortunately, the new document from server template or create document from existing document doesn't automatically take you to the collection structure you want, but you have the search feature for it, and then once you open the document, when you go to save and close, first you need to verify the check-in options, and again it's putting me to the help collection, so we would need to go and select where we want to save this folder, and in our situation we wanted to save it to the 2020. Then again I would check the status where I wanted to route this document to, and choose who I want to route it to. So in the event as an ADM, I can either choose the NDL review, I can choose ready for QAT draft, or I can just push it right to final if it's an older document that doesn't need to be QA'd. Alright, so if we take out, let's check out a standard real quick. Let me grab one that, we'll take this one here. So if I check out a document, so this document has already been saved, it's not a new one. And now I go to save and close. So you notice by default that the collection window is not shown, and that's because it's already been saved to this collection. You can move a document and choose a different collection to save it to if you want. So like if you wanted to move a statement of work, you can move it this way. But for our standard, we really don't want to do that. We want to keep it where it's at. So if it's already been saved, then the collection window is probably good, and that's why it's hidden by default. You'll see the content type's grayed out, right? You can't change the content type. Workflow, again, there's only going to be one workflow for a national standard. Now we're going to have status, so we can route it to these few options. And the ADM has advanced options to allow them to push documents faster in the workflow. But if we were like an NDL, we can move it to ready for QAT. And then after you choose the status, then you can choose your routed to. Let me find a better document that has the folder set up correctly. I'm going to choose the zipline one because this is obviously a test standard. Nope, I'm not going to take that one either. These are all released. So I'm trying to find a document that's not released. Okay, we will use this 560 access road. So I'm going to check it back out. Let's go back to that save and close options here. So we go to save and close. Now I can choose ready for QAT, initial draft. And then by default it's going to come to QA, or I can route it to no one. Now remember, we want to send it to the group. That way all QAT members get a notification. They get an email notification that it was routed to them, and that it'll appear in their assignment so they can check it out. Let's say if we wanted to go to ready for national release, the options are going to be the ADMs. So again, we can route it to the ADMs, and they will get email notification that this standard is ready for national release. And if we chose no one, it would get routed to no one. No email is going to get generated, but it would still appear in the standard status query and other places to find the document, but just no notifications would be given. Okay. All right, so that is the few different options on getting to that save and close dialog box. I'll do one example for as an SDL real quick. Let me sign back in as Anita. So as an SDL, let's say we are in the, let's do crosswind. It's a good one here. They're all advanced in their workflows. So let me adopt a new one to Illinois. So I'm going to adopt 555. That's 666-555, 2018, and let's do Illinois. Okay. So as you saw, I just did the collection refresh area, and then now we have 555, and it's at initial draft. So if I check this document out, as the SDL or STL, I can make edits to the document, and then when I'm ready, I will go to save and close. And again, so by default, because it's already been saved, it's already has the correct collection path, but we can verify it here. I can't change the content type, and there was only one workflow for state standard. The status, I can route it to SDL review, and then I can choose the state discipline lead to get the email, or I can route it to no one, or if I know the specific SDL I want to send it to, I can choose their name from the list. And then again, I have metadata, so I can add in the display name. So I can copy this, add for the display name, and then fill out any metadata accordingly. I can hit save. All right, so that sums it up for the save and close dialog box. Thanks, and see you in the next one. Bye.